everybody, and welcome back to the Sala. I am here today with Alex Rias. Alex is a writer, speaker, and activist. For years, he's worked in politics in New York. In 2011, with two college friends, he co-founded a positive youth development company called Step Above. Today, Alex is in law school furthering his commitment to help change the world. And today, he's our homie in the Sala. So Alex, what's up?
What's up?
Thank you for joining.
We're always homies, by the way.
Oh, this is very true. I'm
always.
so sorry. Not just today, people. Every day. So you've had a career in politics. Now you're in law school. How did you find your way into politics?
Well, it's sort of a roundabout sort of a story. I'm the only person in my family who's been involved in politics as we sort of know politics to be. And it all really started with there's three main things that I can attribute in my upbringing or in my life in general, three main events that have sort of sparked where I am now. The first one being, my parents putting me in public school, but outside of my district. My family was very big on having me experience as much as possible or seeing as many different faces and identities and cultures as possible. And that's really helped me just with my perspective. So the second thing was my decision to start martial arts. That really showed me what discipline and performing for not only for yourself, but for a bigger stage. And the third was my encounter with Stop and Frisk in 2006, which sort of changed the course of my academic pursuits in college. So
you got to explain what happened to you in 2006.
Right. So each of those three things have a story behind it. But we'll start with the Stop and Frisk. So in 2006, in the summer between my junior year and senior year, I was going to a corner store. It was about 7:30, and it was August, so the sun wasn't quite down yet, but it was about to get dark. So I'm on my block, going to the corner store, regular. I have change in my hand. I think I was going to get like a Reese's or something, some candy or whatever. And an unmarked car comes up onto the sidewalk to impede my path. And two guys come out screaming, right? My first reaction was to put whatever's in my hands in my pocket to free my hands. Because I don't know who you are. Your car is unmarked. You're not in a uniform. You're screaming at me. I don't know what's going on. And then as they get into my face, one gets into my face and pulls out his badge. The other is frisking me. He's in my shoes. He's in my pockets. He's in my belt. They're screaming at me, cursing at me. I don't know what to do at this point. I describe it as like this weird sort of center place of fight and flight. I was just stuck. I didn't know what to do because these folks just jumped on me. They're illegally searching me. They're not telling me why. Every question is contradicted with another question. I don't know what's going on. And I finally stopped and say, who are you looking for? You fit the description. I'm 5'11". I'm wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt. It's August. It's 7:30 and I have a Yankee fitted on. That's every person, every male that's my age in this neighborhood looks like me right now. And as they couldn't find anything on me, and eventually they just left. And they just walked away like it was nothing. And I was stuck in the middle of the sidewalk for a good minute, just sort of recollecting what was going on. I walk back home, I go to my room and I lay in my bed. I didn't tell anybody about this for a year. I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't know that I could do anything about it. At the time I was studying psychology and exercise science. I switched my major. I had already finished most of my psychology credits. And so I moved over to sociology of law and sociology of politics courses. Just because I had always a keen understanding of what was going on in my community, but that instance put me in the bed of it, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with the information and with the questions that I now was seeking answers for, but I knew that I was hot about it. I knew that I was passionate about finding these answers, and I knew, and it was all sort of sparked by one major thing, is that I'm in college. I'm generally a calm person. What about the people in my community who don't have the education that I have, didn't have the blessed childhood and upbringing that I've had, and just don't have the overall, self-awareness to remain calm and the ability to remain calm. Like there are more people who would react in a different way than how I reacted. So people in my community are faced with that sort of scenario all the time, every day. In 2012, there were more young black males between the age of 16 and 24 who were stopped than the entire population of New York City, young black males in that same demographic. That means that of the records that they do have, more people were stopped than actually live here, which means people were stopped more than once in 1 year.
Insane.
There are people who have been stopped 20 times over a lifetime, 20 times before the age of 18. I've only been stopped twice. My brother's been stopped maybe 6 or 7 times. My father has been stopped.
What does that do to your psyche, right?
What does that do? I know what it did to me with one sort of really scary version. I know what that did to me. It changed the entire course of my life. Because from there, I sought answers to these questions that I had in my head. I got more politically engaged at school. I understood better why people were so upset about things that were going on. I knew that they were upset before, and I knew that I had a responsibility to do something about it. But now I really felt it. It had hit me at that point.
Well, what I really love is that something happened to you that moved you to change,
Yes.
and moved you to action. I feel like, as crappy as it was of a situation, it was supposed to happen to someone who would look at it as like, this is my charge. This
Exactly.
is mine. I'm going to take this up and lead change for my community here, and we'll see where it goes.
Exactly. And it inspired so much in me. I literally did not know what I was going to do after my undergrad. And that sort of light bulb was so bright and so burning that I had to go closer to it. I just had to. And it just set me on a course to do what I'm doing now, or to do what I've done, and then now as a law student to switch it up even more.
Do you think that more young people in particular, need to be sort of tuned in to what's going on in their surroundings and understand that certain things are happening to them for a reason, and that may be that light bulbs are trying to flash in their brain, like, this is where you're driven, this is where you need to enact change, this is your calling, so to speak.
Right. I would say, on the face of it, just yes, right? But, luck is opportunity, and just you being ready to accept the opportunity. That's really what luck is. And the fact that I was lucky to have that happen to me, it's sort of a twisted thing to say that I was lucky to have that happen to me, but I was lucky to have that happen to me because I had been groomed without knowing to be able to handle that sort of situation in the way that I did. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has the grooming or the opportunity to be ready at that moment. So it'd be great to say that, yes, kids need to be aware of their surroundings. And there's no way that they're going to be aware of their surroundings unless there are resources for them to be able to access different scenarios, things that are different from what they live with every day, to expose them to new people, new ideas, new ways of thinking, new ways of speaking, new ways of presenting themselves. If they have no positive role models, to expose them to positive role models. And it may seem like a basic thing, but really that's what they need, is basic things. And so, that sort of seeing that gap has led me in this direction towards politics and government, but also has sort of facilitated a lot of my public speaking and working with youth and doing some youth development.
And now you have this book,
Yes.
and so tell us about Detention, a story of change among strangers.
Yes. So Detention. So in 2011, I co-founded a company. It's a positive youth development company and leadership development company for a lot of it's meant to fill the gaps that we were talking about a little bit earlier about what are the kinds of resources that youth need in order to experience new things, change or supplement their mindset, sort of help them to evolve and grow. And so me and some of my college friends got together, and we were all public speakers. We were all doing some youth work, all doing some kind of community work, and we came together and thought about building a company around solving the problems that we saw were happening. And so the tension came out of that. We started the company first doing seminars and workshops and keynotes for student conferences and things like that. And we developed a performance. So me and my friends who started this, we were from the same fraternity, and we were on the same step team. So we infused stepping, poetry, spoken word, and our public speaking. And we told stories about ourselves, and added all those different components and did workshops that coincided with the performance. And then we realized that we need something to leave the kids with. After we're with them for an hour or 2 hours, we need something that they can hold on to and continue to inspire them. And so that's when we put our story, our performance down into a book. It's probably the thing that I'm most proud of that I've been able to do. Getting a book published is not an easy thing. It's not easy. It took 2 years to get it done. Wow. But 2 years felt like an eternity, and I mean, I'm just happy that it's done.
What do you feel are some of the obstacles or hurdles that you've had to overcome, like in your political career?
Facing my own sort of cultural self has been a major obstacle. It's just facing the fact that I have a responsibility to the people that I am part of, who I am. So when you're faced with, who you are and what should be done, there's a point in the middle there where you have to decide to do something about it. And we don't really recognize that as an obstacle, but it really is the obstacle that stops us from acting. Whether it's, me taking a step forward into a whole industry that nobody in my family really has any, concept of or understanding. All my family are educators or healthcare folks. Like nobody was in this realm, or it's like you hosting, or you just putting yourself out there to involve yourself in a whole community of actors or athletes or anything, to put yourself out there and be willing to fail, and be willing to learn and be willing to change your mind in order to fit what needs to be done, without losing yourself. Like that's a true obstacle that I had to face. I thought I knew who I was. I thought I knew what I was going to be doing. And over the course of my evolution in this game, it's been faced constantly with pushing myself a little further outside of my comfort zone, understanding more of what my personal responsibility is to myself, to my family, to my community, to my city, to my state, to my country, to the world. It radiates out that far. And it really starts with that point. It's like when I was talking about that fight and flight. What do? You're stuck. And from every decision that we make, we're stuck at some point, whether it's a millisecond or 1 second or 1 minute or an hour or a day or a week. We are stuck at some point in time. And the more practice we have with facing that point, the better we are with pushing past that. And
how do you develop the art of pushing past that?
You start by doing it one time. Just by doing it one time. How do you walk a mile? You start with one step. If you want to be a photographer, take one picture and have somebody look at it. If you want to be a speaker, speak in front of people. If you want to, be an athlete, pick up a ball. You don't learn how to run a marathon by reading about it. Yeah. You learn how to do it by practicing and doing it.
But one of the things that keeps people from doing those things is the fear. So how do you fight the fear?
Yeah. Well, that there are two options. In my mind, things come, it's very binary sort of thing. Either you do it or you don't. It's a yes or a no. Your fear is somewhere in the middle of that, and it really doesn't matter. It really honestly doesn't matter. You want to get from one side of the room to the next, but there's a couch in the middle. What are you going to do? You're going to walk around the couch. You're going to climb over the couch. You're going to do something to get to the other side, or you're not. You have to make a decision to take one step, and you take a next step. You take a next step.
Yeah. I had it explained to me as thinking about in that situation, what's the worst that could happen, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, failure is not the worst thing that can happen to you.
Right.
Every time you fail, I believe you're supposed to fail unless you didn't put your effort into it. I believe if you come with a full heart, with a full mind, ready to work, then you're either going to meet the expectation or you're going to fail, but you're going to fail for a reason.
And that's the thing about success in general. We look at success as something that is a thing. Success is not a thing. It's a mindset. It's a way of accomplishing goals. It's a way of helping other people accomplish goals. Success is a new way of being. That's all it is. So, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's something that my parents told me all the time about trying new things. But there's a Jay-Z line that I will never forget that just sticks with me every time I have doubt in my head. So it's, I will not lose. That's it. Whether I succeed or fail, I will not lose. There's no losing when you fail. Failure only told you that you did it the wrong way. That's all it told you.
Or it wasn't your time.
It wasn't your time.
Right.
Or you needed some other component that you didn't have. It's not about turning it off because you failed. It's turning it on more because you failed.
And that's exactly what you did to get you to this place, right? You saw something happen to you did not like. You turned it up. You turned it way up. You were like, I'm not going to let this experience be the end. I'm not going to let it silence me. I'm not going to let it pacify me. It's moving me towards action.
Right. And that's what it comes down to. How far are you going to go in order to achieve your goals? Because there's somebody else that's going to do it.
So now, with your definition of success, do you feel that you're successful?
Success is a journey. That's one of the mottos of Step Above. It's success is the journey. And so do I think I'm successful? I think I've successfully accomplished certain goals. Am I where I want to be? No. And will I ever be? I don't know. I think I like the road I'm traveling down. I'm just doing what I need to do in order to accomplish my goals. I'm trying to preserve my moral compass along the way and just make it happen. Whether or not that's successful is up to other people to interpret. For me, I'm just trying to do my best.
I feel like, what was another song? Who said, sky is the limit?
Biggie.
I'm so cool. Okay, on that note.
Sky is the limit.
We'll end it there with sky is the limit.
Yes.
I cannot lose.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining us today in the Sala. Alex, thank you so much
thank you,
for
Jess.
expanding our minds. The book is Detention by Step Above, and their website is www.westepabove.com. Visit them, check it out. The book's on Amazon. And, just listen to that voice in your head. If you got to be about change, you got to be about it. You never know where it's going to lead you. Thanks again. See you guys next week. Bye.
There was 25 incoming freshmen that got accepted into the theater program. We auditioned, we got in. I graduated with 6 people.
Wow.
So,
Why do you think that is?
Just, I think people fall in love with the idea of what is acting. They fall in love with the fame, the glory, the after effects. I think, like any business, you have to work at it. You have to put a lot of energy into it.